friend. Welcome back to Estrogen module. This is Dr. Naina Shah, your integrative doctor. Today, we are diving into chapter 3, estrogen types, production, and circulation. In the last two chapters, we explored just how essential estrogen is for a woman's body, influencing much more than just reproductive health. It plays a role in nearly every tissue, keeping you healthy and vibrant. But what happens when estrogen gets out of balance? In today's chapter and the ones to come, we will dive into the flip side of estrogen's story. You have probably heard of terms like estrogen excess or estrogen dominance and wondered if it's a real thing. Well, it absolutely is, especially during your teenage years or in your late 30s to 40s, what some call the second teenage or perimenopause. Think of your body like a symphony. If one instrument is too loud, it throws off the entire performance. That's what happens when estrogen levels get too high, leading to estrogen dominance. Today, we will uncover how and why estrogen can become excessive because that is the one of the major cause of lot of symptoms and suffering before menopause. In this chapter, we will explore three key factors that contribute to estrogen imbalance or excess. First of all, we will see the three different types of estrogen and where they come from. Then we will see how estrogen is produced in the body. And lastly, the difference between free and bound forms of estrogen in the blood. Unlike progesterone, your body actually produces three main estrogens, each with a unique role. Estrone or E1 accounts for 10 to 20% of total estrogen and becomes the primary estrogen after menopause. Estradiol or E2, produced by the ovaries, is the strongest form of estrogen and also accounts for 10 to 20% of total estrogen. And then estriol or E3, the lightest of the three, making up 60 to 80% of total estrogen and is the main estrogen during pregnancy. Now let's look at estrone production. Estrone or E1 is produced in fat cells and other tissues like the breast, liver, brain, and bowels by converting hormones like testosterone and DHEA. The more fat cells you have, the more estrone your body produces. For premenopausal women with a BMI over 30, this can mean higher level of total estrogen because you are still producing estradiol from your ovaries. And this extra estrone makes your total amounts quite high. Interestingly, in postmenopausal women, this extra estrogen can help maintain bone, muscle, and brain health as ovarian estrogen levels decline. Factors like alcohol consumption, zinc deficiency, and low progesterone can also lead to higher estrogen production. Here are a few strategies to help reduce estrogen production. Maintaining a normal body mass index and by improving muscle mass, you will reduce estrogen production because it is produced in the fat cells. Reducing the alcohol intake. I know not everyone loves to hear this, but I hear from so many women that they can no longer tolerate alcohol as they get into perimenopause. Optimize your zinc levels with foods like seafood, oysters, or supplements. And we can use progesterone therapeutically to help balance estrogen levels. Now, let's look at ovarian estrogen production. Estradiol, or E2, the strongest form of estrogen, is produced by your ovaries. And here is the kicker: it doesn't rely on ovulation to be made. That means even if ovulation doesn't happen, follicles still release estrogen, which means estrogen levels can remain high even when progesterone levels are low. Remember, progesterone is only made after the ovulation has taken place. This imbalance is what often leads to estrogen dominance. Most of the estrogen circulating in your bloodstream is locked away in a protein called sex hormone binding globulin, SHBG. Remember, we learned that hormones are powerful chemicals, so your body has this way to regulate its effect. You can see here estrogen, when it's carried by SHBG, it is all wrapped up by this molecule and it makes the estrogen inactive, shielding cells from too much estrogen exposure. Think of SHBG as a storage container that holds on to estrogen, only releasing a tiny amount at a time to keep things balanced. But imagine if there is a shortage of these containers. What would happen? More free estrogen can circulate, causing estrogen excess or estrogen dominance. Now, let's look at what can reduce these SHBG containers. When SHBG levels drop, more potent free estrogen is left circulating in your body, which can lead to hormone imbalances and estrogen dominance. So, what causes this? Factors like stress, being overweight, or low fiber diet, a sedentary lifestyle, and even an underactive thyroid can all lower SHBG levels, SHBG containers, letting too much free estrogen roam around unchecked. The good news is you can actually make more SHBG containers by making a few simple lifestyle changes. And this way, you will have less free potent estrogen circulating in your bloodstream and affecting your body. So, what are these lifestyle changes? First of all, load up on fiber. Vegetables and fruits, 5 servings a day. Nuts, seeds, whole grains, and legumes are your friends. Second, exercise regularly. This will help boost muscle mass. Also, it will help you reduce the stress level and also manage stress level by other practices like meditation, yoga, nature, etc. Check your thyroid health and manage it appropriately because underactive thyroid will reduce your SHBG. To sum it up, in this chapter, we've learned that your body produces three types of estrogens in different tissues, not just the ovaries. Estrogen production doesn't rely on ovulation, which can lead to higher estrogen levels even when progesterone is low. Most estrogen in your body is in bound form, with only 1 to 5% circulating as free estrogen. SHBG acts as a reservoir, keeping free estrogen levels in check. Lifestyle changes, such as maintaining a healthy weight, reducing alcohol intake, and optimizing zinc level, also managing stress and thyroid can help manage estrogen production and SHBG levels. Thank you for your attention. We have just unraveled some of the mysteries behind estrogen in your blood. But here is the twist. Even if your estrogen levels are normal, the estrogen receptors in your body can still amplify its effects. Curious? In the next chapter, we will dive into this fascinating topic. Stay tuned for more surprises. Namihi.